I spent a good 20 years working in the restaurant industry as a waiter and as a wine steward. It was my day job. It was what I did to support my family. And it was good at first. Hours were good. He always could find work. But as time went on, and as I wrote more novels that I couldn't sell, and as I got older and as I got closer to middle age, that job was harder and harder for me to work, not physically, but emotionally. It was really became a symbol of failure, of my unfulfilled potential. I'm not saying that that's what it is for people who work in the industry. A lot of people, it's a perfect fit and they quite enjoy it, but it was rough on me. But I felt trapped in it. I felt trapped in that job because I needed the money, had to support my family. And the longer I spent in it, the more I felt as though there were no other options, that the possibilities other than writing novels, being a successful writer to earn a living were closing and closing and closing. And so I felt sort of imprisoned by that work and the job I did, but I had no choice. The older I got, on and on, it got pretty tough on me. But right in my 40s, my wife and I came into some money, and I realized it was enough that I could leave the restaurant, could leave restaurant work and find something else to do with myself, something that I actually wanted to do. It was enough that it would give me some time to figure that out. And I remember the day I was standing there in the kitchen, and I knew I was just going to work about 3 or 4 more months, and then I was going to be done. So I knew it was over. It was over. 20-year span in that work, it was over. It was coming to an end. And as I stood there looking at this kitchen and all the people I worked with, I realized that I hadn't been trapped there at all, that I chose that job. I chose staying in it. I chose every moment of it. I might as well, I realized in some strange way, it felt like I created that job out of nothing, that I built, for all intents and purposes, that restaurant from the ground. There was nothing accidental about it. There was nothing outside of my own thoughts and my own beliefs that kept me there. And I think about that moment. In other words, I had created it. I had created that job. And I think about that moment sometimes as I am rereading a book I'm working on now, as I'm going through the rewriting process. And I come across, as I've talked about recently on this podcast, passages that I don't like, passages that aren't working. And I think those moments can be painful for us, in part because they replicate the feeling we have when we are experiencing something in our lives that we don't like. Whether we acknowledge it or not, on some level, we know we created it. We know we chose that relationship. We know we chose that job. We know we chose the friends we have. We know we ate the food that made us gain weight. We know we made choices that led to the life we're leading. And of course, when you're writing a story, you know you created it. You didn't want to create something you didn't like. You thought you were going to like it. You thought you were writing something good, and then you would read it and go, no, that's not what I want at all. And I think that experience replicates that feeling of we go through in our own lives, like, why are we here? And why is this happening? And why am I feeling so trapped? And why don't people like me? And why aren't I having success? Why? And writing reveals the lie of it because of choices you made. And writing has taught me to make more and more and more deliberate choices. Because every time I have a passage that I didn't care for, usually I just rushed it a little bit, or I wasn't clear about it, or I didn't really know what it is I wanted to say. When I really know what I'm trying to convey, when it's so clear to me, it is not hard to translate into something like what I found. But sometimes I don't know yet, but I write anyway. And then I create something that I don't like. Look, writing has taught me in a way that nothing else has, that I am the author of my life. I'm the author of my life, just like I am the author of my stories. It's just more obvious on the page, that's all. And the great thing about writing is you get to practice. You get to practice. Every day you sit down to the blank page, you get to practice making choices on purpose, choices that please you. You get to practice asking the question, what is it I want? What is it I really want? What entertains me? What is fun for me? What is inspiring to me? What is important to me? You get to practice asking that question because sometimes you don't have the answer right away. And sometimes the life you've led that you haven't enjoyed is you making choices before you have really asked yourself, what do I want? Do I really want this? Or did somebody tell me I should want this? Or did I just have some notion when I was young that this is what I should want? Because I have certainly lived things and realized I don't want this, and I never have. I didn't want to write fiction. I thought I did, but I didn't. I never really asked myself, is this what you want? The way I need to ask myself about sentences. Is this the sentence you really want? And as a writer, I can go, no, that's not the one I really want. And as a writer, it took me a long time to say, no, it's not what I actually want to write. You're the author of your life. You're the author of your life. And I know it's scary sometimes because we can create things we don't want. I know, but how else would you have it? Hmm? That it's just a bunch of crap that happens to you and you hope you have the good luck to have that the wheel spins in your favor? No. No, thank you. I'll take my own choices. I'll make my own mistakes because that's the only way I know how to create something I want on purpose. Yeah. No, I know that's hard. I know it. I know it. And so for some of you, that's the hard part. Some of you, it's not. But what is? Let me know. I want to hear. And if you don't want to miss an episode, miss a dose of my inspiration, hit subscribe. And if you like this one, say so. I want to hear from you. So until next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.